Hey guys, so over the past few months, the job market has made me a pretty bitter individual, and today I've accepted that it's absolutely over for me. I used to have dreams and aspirations, and I worked hard, and I even sacrificed a good part of my social life to work towards a degree, a good transcript, a good resume, and it's time for me to say it like it is. All those things are worth as much as a dried poop stain on the side of a toilet. So, since I have nothing to lose, I'm just gonna start ranting about my life until my channel gets taken down. If you to me for the gameplay or the gameplay commentary, the good news for you is that Stars is playing Edrags now, so you can just copy whatever he's doing. A few weeks ago, Stars said to me, verbatim,
Trundle sama, watashi wa oni-chan desu ne. Electro Dragons, you're the goat. Desu ne. Arigatou gozaimasu.
and the translation for that is that he asked me to teach him Edrags, so I did, and he was a pretty good student, so you guys will be fine learning from him. Anyway, I don't know if the words that's going to come out of my mouth in the future is going to resonate with anyone, but I got nothing left going for me, so might as well speak my mind, you know what I'm saying? But if you think I'm toxic or whatever, or you can't stand me, or you're just here for the gameplay tutorials, you can go ahead and unsub. Probably better to keep my channel small so I can keep saying whatever I want without worrying about the normies coming in saying some, who do you think you are, bro? Who do you think you are? You know, I'm Trundle, nice to meet you. So I could rant about the job market for hours, but today I want to talk about something that is arguably just as pressing, just as bad, and that's the reason why I stopped socializing with normies in real life and locked myself in my room playing Clash of Clans. There are many reasons, but I'm going to talk about one of the biggest one today, and that's the jestermaxxers of my generation. From my college experience, I estimate has to be around 80, maybe even 85% of guys in my generations that are jestermaxxers. And I've seen this over a period of a long, long time, like over the past few years. So that's really nothing new to me, but it's getting worse and worse. And I think the straw that really broke the camel's back and what really led me to finally have to talk about it is something that literally just happened earlier today, and it absolutely pissed me off. You know, usually jestermaxxers go do their own thing, they can go embarrass themselves, and I could care less. But today they really affected me, so I'm gonna have to talk about it. I was in the library doing some work, not really any productive work per se, in the sense that I feel like, oh, it's gonna change my future. You know, in the past few months, when I go to the library, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna prepare for this interview. I'm gonna get this job. Oh my God, bro, my future is still ahead of me. Like, I was still like a bright-eyed individual. Not anymore. Right now, I'm kind of just doing some monotonous coursework. You know, I don't even know why I'm doing it. I feel like Rock Lee after he got his arms and legs crushed by Gara, but he still stood up fighting, unconscious, just through the sheer will and muscle memory. You know, at this point I'm in the library just because I've been a tryhard all my life, and it just seems like the right thing to do when it doesn't really matter. I mean, I should have learned my lesson. It really doesn't matter if I rot in bed or pretend to be productive in the library. In 2026, it's all over. Not getting a job, it's over. You know, people used to say, oh, put the fries in the bag. I'll put the fries in the bag, bro, as like an insult. It's a compliment nowadays, right? You know, I wish someone would say to me, I'll put the fries in the bag, little bro. I'd be like, sign me up, man. Where's my W-2, you know? Where's the fries? Where's the bag? Just give me the word, man. You know? So I'm just in the library, and in front of me was a table of four guys. They were studying quietly, respectfully, with their headphones on, earbuds in, and everything. And this was a pretty interesting group of guys, right? One of them had a sports jersey on, and you know, I could tell he's pretty tall, even though he sat down, probably 6'2", 6'3", broad shoulders, pretty buff, looked sporty. And then two other guys looked nearly identical. And I don't mean identical in the sense of they look like identical twins. What I mean is they're kind of on the same tier, just your average David, your average Kevin, just the everyday, no one gives a shit looking dude. And the fourth guy was just absolutely brutal. He was skinny, but as a guy, you can be skinny but still have like broad shoulders, have a broad stature. He was skinny and like super small. I don't know, his whole stature was just built like a little girl with a mustache, and he was wearing this like turtleneck long sleeve. I don't know if he was trying to he thinks the long sleeve can hide his skinny arms or something, but it just made it worse. It just emphasized his body shape even more, because it's kind of like all like the turtleneck long sleeve was completely just outlining his body. If you're insecure about your body, you should be wearing baggy clothes. Obviously, no need to be insecure about anything, but baggy clothes always works much better. If you needed fashion advice, all right, whatever. And he also had pretty long hair, long oily hair. I mean, his hair was so oily. I don't know if he used some product or it's just natural scalp oil, but it looked like he dunked it in Venezuelan oil. Trump is shipping millions of barrels of oil from Venezuela, and it looks like he just crawled out of one of those barrels. And his whole face had cystic acne. I used to have some painful cystic acne too when I was in my teens, but I had maybe like one or two at a time if I had bad sleep or had a bad diet in that week. This guy, unfortunately, the whole side of his jaw was just bloated from acne. And, funny enough, his nose, his T-zone looked pretty clean. Acne was just on his cheeks. So I'm guessing it's hormonal acne. Nothing that can't be fixed, honestly. Like, if he were my friend, I'd tell him how to fix it, right? But his recessed chin, I can't fix that one. I don't know a solution to that one. From his upper lip to his neck, just a straight line. Just a straight line, at an acute angle. The queen can fire her giant arrow from his upper lip to his neck, just a straight line down the middle. And yeah, I don't have any advice to give on that one. It's just absolutely brutal. This fourth guy was just, I don't know, man. Unlucky genetics. And by the way, I'm just describing. I'm not making fun of him. I'm the last person to want to make fun or bully others because, well, number one, I'm a complete introvert, so I really just don't give a shit. I have no impulse to really care about putting others down. Number two, I was bullied in middle school, so I was pretty nerdy. Back in middle school, I remember skipping classes just to avoid my bullies, and I got in trouble with my parents because they thought I was skipping classes to smoke weed or something. So, I mean, that's a whole nother story, but it's kind of a double whammy kind of situation, right? But, yeah, I mean, I guess I can talk a little more about that. I mean, it wasn't like the typical American sitcom bullying where a kid gets stuffed into a locker and get pantsed or something like that. Actually, I think I did get pants a time or two now that I think about it. I also got pants in kindergarten by a teacher. Pretty sure she was a sexual predator. But getting off track here, the bullying started because when I was younger, my parents was moving around a lot. So, new school, new environment. And, this dude who was kind of like the leader of a large friend group just decided he didn't like me. So I did experience some verbal bullying and isolation there, which is kind of funny because the same dude did a complete 180 in high school and started hopping on my cock because I was in the first AP Calc, AP Physics class, and I took the exams first, so I was kind of leaking the questions and tutoring people from the class after. But whatever. The point is, when I say this guy has a recessed chin or a flat nose, I don't really say it to put him down. I'm just saying what I observe and, frankly, what I think is relevant to the situation. You know, by the way, if you think I'm being mean, you know, most likely you watch me because I'm decent at Clash of Clans, and what it takes to be good at Clash or any competitive game is pattern recognition, right? Cold hard, unapologetic, just raw pattern recognition. You know, I can't be saying that, oh, the Revenge Tower is OP, so I gotta save a spell for it. But what about the Mortar? You know, the Mortar is also strong and independent. Don't be racist. I have to Grand Warren ability the Mortar, you know? You really need good pattern recognition to be good at games, and this really applies to real life too. You know, if I see a pattern, I'm just gonna say it like it is, man. So one of the pattern, well, here we go. You know, one of the patterns is that there are many male friend groups that have that one token female, and I don't know why, but the girl's always ever so slightly chubby for some reason. So this group of 4 guys that was sitting like a table next to me, they were studying and chilling, and then this girl starts doing like a little girl run towards them, and goes like, "Oh my God, Josh, Josh!" And I didn't even have to look to know that Josh was the guy in the sports jersey. And by the way, this isn't some like incel rant, like, oh, girls only care about looks. You know, I don't care about that. That's a tale as old as time and a song as old as rhyme. You know, we all know that. We can all grow past it. Now, the problem I have is how the other 3 guys just instantly started jester maxing. You know, the 2 average Joe schmoes started talking to each other about frat parties.
Like, dude, you running for Sigma Chi, bro? You pledging for Sigma Chi? Man, can you invite me to a party, bro? Yeah, man, we already had a mixer with Kappa Kappa Gamma. You already know Sophia keeps trying to ask me to come over. Oh, shit, these girls are so easy, man. Yeah, you should definitely join our party, man. Yeah.
Bro, Sophia either has a penis or he's hallucinating, right? And the entire time these 2 guys were jester maxing, the chubby girl was just talking to Chadwick Sporty Johnson anyway, like not giving a minuscule fuck about these supposed frat boys. It was just a sad sight, man. Like at this point I was already kind of distracted from my work. You know, I was thinking to myself like, dude, guys, just pipe down, settle down, right? Keep working, stop gesturing. It's not that hard. But this wasn't even what really pissed me off, right? Honestly, if it was just this, I wouldn't even be making a video about it. I'd have forgone about this by now, frankly. So, you know, at this point, I haven't even really taken off my headphones, my Sony noise-canceling headphones. You know, I barely looked up. I was unfazed. You know, this level of gesturing I've seen a million times before. And the problem was what happened next. You know, what happened next was just completely egregious and just pissed me off so much. You know, the pimple face guy, right, whipped out his phone and started playing rap instrumentals. And, you know, just playing it out loud. I had my Sony noise-canceling headphones on, and I heard it through that. So at this point, I took off my headphones just to I was just a little curious what song he was playing. You know, at first I thought he was playing a rap song, but then, like, after 10 seconds, I realized he was just playing the instrumentals. And right then, right there, in the middle of the fucking library, he just starts rapping. And, like, granted, we weren't in the quiet section or anything, but it was still the library, and people around me were chattering, but they were keeping it down. You know, this guy just pulls out a rap instrumental, and he started rapping. And at first I thought he was sounding really weird. Then later on I realized he's trying to sound like Lil Wayne. Like he was trying to emulate Lil Wayne's rap style, I guess. He was like,
I think you'll stand under me if you don't understand me.
you know,
I think you stand under me if you understand me.
and I only recognized that he was rapping, I think it's called like 6 Foot, 7 Foot by Lil Wayne, because, you know, when he got to the line,
but hoes gonna be hoes, so I couldn't blame Tammy.
you know, oh my god, man. Oh, I should have recorded it. You know, I was so stun locked at that time. I should have recorded it for sure. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, he was just like,
Had my heart broken by this woman named Tammy. But hers gonna be hers, so I couldn't blame Tammy.
oh my god, brother. Please, bro. I've never seen this level of gesturing. It's crazy. And oh my god. You know, I couldn't believe my fucking eyes, man. Like, I couldn't believe the Guinness World Record wasn't there for the world record Jester supermaxing. Like, to say I got secondhand embarrassment, it would be a severe understatement. I remember wanting to stick a knife into my eyes and my ears. Like, I was thinking about what kind of crime, like, did I commit in my previous life to have to witness this shit. And let me tell you what really pissed me off was I love Lil Wayne. You know, when I was younger and I heard Lil Wayne for the first time, I thought his music was vulgar, it was uncivilized, like, lick me like a lollipop. But as I grew older and I went back to read his lyrics, I realized this dude is a lyrical genius. So I do listen to a lot of rap, not nowadays, but I definitely had my rap phase, and Lil Wayne's one of my favorites. And I just know that from today to the end of time, for the rest of my life, every time I hear a Lil Wayne track, I'm just going to think of this pimple-faced guy. Like, this guy is going to be living in my head rent-free for the rest of my life, and I won't be able to enjoy another Lil Wayne song again. You know, it's kind of like the Russian soldier military program, right? Where soldiers are like trained to be normal people, and then they have like a special trigger phrase where they, if they hear it, they suddenly, you know, lock in and become like the specially trained soldier that they are. You know, I kind of feel like that. Whenever I hear Lil Wayne from now on, I'm just gonna immediately think about this fucking dude. So, yeah, he ruined one of my favorite artists just like that. All for what? All for what? You know, just to be a jester. It's kind of weird. When this was happening in real time, I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. But as I was walking home, I got really pissed off because I realized he killed Lil Wayne for me. And I think I would give up all my Clash trophies right now just to ask him whether it was worth it. Killing Lil Wayne for me just for a 0% chance of impressing this girl that wasn't even looking at him. Wasn't even looking at his general direction. I guess he seemed kind of proud of his raps too, especially in the middle, since one of the two wannabe frat boys was like hyping him up, doing, you know, one of them was like doing a little frat flick, like nodding to his horrible rapping. I just wish people were more, just a little bit more self-aware, you know? Alright, and honestly, I feel kind of bad too, because he doesn't know any better. Right? He doesn't know some Clash of Clans playing NPC was just observe maxing this whole ordeal and told a tale on YouTube. And I think I actually have a theory. Like, I thought of a theory when I was walking home that guys like me, guys a little younger as well, like those guys, I assume they were younger than me. I mean, probably freshmen, sophomores. You know, these guys nowadays, they try to find some avenue, like any avenue whatsoever that could potentially acknowledge them, place value in them. And in 2026, that avenue is certainly not the job market. You know, you can apply to 1,000 jobs and the inevitable conclusion is that you're a worthless piece of shit. So guys turn to women who also inevitably reject them. And when you're out of moves, you just start rapping Lil Wayne in the library. I mean, there's literally no other moves. I really can't blame him, to be honest. And I think the most important thing is he never put anyone down. I remember when I was a freshman, I was part of a group myself, like a friend group with 4 guys and also 1 girl. The girl wasn't chubby. I mean, she was pretty fit actually, but I mean, I guess she's chubby now, I think. But back then, it was the 4 guys, including me, plus a girl. And I just remember, like, every time the girl wasn't present, we'll just be the best buds, and we'll play League of Legends together. Everyone got along. But when she was present, like when we were eating in a dining hall, like this other guy was just like talking to me and like really loudly, like, "I bet you got a small dick, bro. I bet you got a small dick." It's like he would never have said that without the girl present, you know. Anyway, that's my rant on jesters. Please stop jester maxing. See ya.